Got Stephen M. Smith on the line from touchdownalabama.com to break down the NFL draft on the Alabama side for us, April 23rd, 4th, and 5th. Defense, Raekwon Davis up front. It's a strong year for down defensive linemen, guys with their hands in the dirt. Of course, Derek Brown's the guy that's everyone salivating about. Raekwon Davis more in that maybe 4 to 7 range in regards to those guys coming off the board.
And it's tough because Raekwon is kind of an enigma for me due to he came in 2016, out of Meridian, Mississippi. Big body at 6'7", 312 pounds, ginormous wingspan, all the tools and the ability to be a marquee factor. All of it was there. 2017, the young man had a massive season. We're looking at 69 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, led the team in sacks with 8.5, and people felt like, okay, this is the next first-round pick. Alabama has had Jonathan Allen. It's had Deron Payne. It's had, a whole bunch of other guys that have come through that program. Alabama being special, being disruptive, being dynamic, and they've gone on to be high draft picks in the different venues. So people felt as though Raekwon Davis would be the next guy with the effort and the performance he had as a sophomore. But after 2017, the young man disappeared. And the next 2 years combined, 2018 and this past season, we're looking at 2 sacks. So not the productivity he had from his sophomore year, despite the fact he's got the size at 6'7", now 311 pounds. He's got the wingspan. He has the ability to either be a defensive tackle and maybe a 4-3 scheme, or kick out to be a defensive end in a 3-4 scheme. So the ability is there. The question for Raekwon has been the maturity, the want to, and the fire. Does he have that fire every single play, every single down? Does he have that maturity every single play? Does he have the want to? Because there were times this past season where you would see, Raekwon explode off the ball, take on a double team, make a tackle for loss in the backfield, or harass the quarterback. You would see in spurts where, hey, this guy's a first-round value. And then you would see in spurts to where you would ask yourself, if you were an NFL GM, does this guy even want to play the game of football? So the mental psyche of Raekwon Davis is what comes to mind to me at times. Now, size-wise, you still have some analysts that would mock him as maybe a late first rounder, early second rounder, early to mid second rounder. But then you have some guys that go based off of the lack of maturity at times. Here's where you see guys dropping third round, as you mentioned, Mark, between the 4th and the 7th round. For Raekwon, the size, yes. The athleticism, yes. The potential, yes. But the maturity, the want to, and the fire to put it on the field every single Sunday, every single game, that's the question mark.
And I was also looking at just the depth of the position. Most analysts have him rated between about the 4th and 7th best with the hand in the dirt defensive lineman in the middle there. And of course, Derek Brown's the elite guy that I've seen a grade on Derek Brown where he was the best of the last 4 years.
I'll say this, Mark. I would have him going right now to the Carolina Panthers right now. Derek Brown to Carolina for me.
Good stuff from Stephen M. Smith of touchdownalabama.com. NFL draft breakdown. And when you talk about the lack of disruptive plays that Raekwon Davis made the last 2 seasons, where they got those plays from were Terrell Lewis and ANFERNEE Jennings. You look at the tackles for loss, the sacks coming from those 2 guys. Kind of compare and contrast. One linebacker, one probably edge rusher in the NFL.
True. When you look at ANFERNEE Jennings, he's more so of the true outside linebacker edge setter. He's going to set the edge in the run game. He's going to meet you at the mesh point, swipe his hands off of yours if you're an offensive lineman, and track down the running back. Or he can even swipe down your hands and go get the quarterback. So somebody in ANFERNEE Jennings that did have 12 tackles for loss and 8 sacks a season ago, but more so of your true edge setter. Terrell Lewis is your pass rusher. He's that guy you turn loose and you say, young man, go get the quarterback. Had 11.5 tackles for loss a season ago, had 7 sacks, had a team high 16 quarterback hurries. I remember the game against Arkansas. I felt so bad for the Razorbacks in that football game because, I mean, poor Nick Starkel, scared for his life as Big 24 Terrell Lewis coming at him every single time. Just that game alone, Lewis had 6 quarterback pressure. So he affects the signal caller. He affects the passing game. When I look at the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens would be an ideal fit for Lewis just due to the guy at one point in time for the Ravens that was that all-time quarterback effector was Terrell Suggs. And with no more Terrell Suggs, Terrell Lewis would kind of be that guy to do that type of thing for the Ravens on the defensive side of the football. In terms of ANFERNEE Jennings, I would have him more so as an early to mid second round guy. Could even dip into the third round, but early to mid second round guy. And for ANFERNEE Jennings, give me the Houston Texans. I think he would fit really well there in Houston, learning from a J.J. Watt and other guys around him. I think ANFERNEE Jennings, and Houston is a franchise that it wants to get back to having that hard-hitting defense with guys that know the technique, know how to play the game, know how to kind of set that edge and make life difficult for running backs, quarterbacks, and offensive linemen. So ANFERNEE Jennings, kind of that hard hat mentality, he would fit well down there in Houston with Bill O'Brien's scheme. For Terrell Lewis, for me, I would put him with the Baltimore Ravens, have him affect the passing game.